Hello, I'm David Rubenstein, PhD, inventor and founder of Brain-Body Calibration, a new technology to deal with chronic pain, which was its original design. And I want to talk to you about a couple of the most important issues that we find with chronic pain. And the first most important issue is obviously you want to get out of pain, and there are many ways to do that. But the key is to get out of pain and stay out of pain. And that was part of the design parameter over a 17-year developmental period for brain-body calibration technologies and protocols. Those are the means by which we actually do calibration. And then one of the key issues that happens with a chronic pain person is that they undergo changes in the brain tissue and the nerve tissues themselves, and we call this central sensitization. And what it means is that even if the pain stimulus or what that's causing the pain, if it's there long enough, the brain will begin to change how it perceives pain signals, which leads to chronic pain being there even though there's no real reason for it. And this is not to say that it's all in your mind, because I don't believe that. What I do believe is that, and what many have found, is that central sensitization is a factual find of the chronic pain world. Now, important to get out of pain for another reason that came out in 2010, and that reason is that chronic pain itself actually shrinks the brain, or causes what we say is brain atrophy. When that happens, we notice a very noticeable sharp decline in cognitive function, thinking, emotional processing, memory. All of these things become a problem with chronic pain populations. It's not due to the medications. They have their side effects, and I won't even comment on those in this video, but we know that the chronic pain itself actually changes the brain. So the next thing about chronic pain that I'd like to bring up is that with chronic pain, usually compression in the joints and inflammation processes are involved in some way, form, or another. Not all of them, but most of them have those two common denominators. And what causes that inflammation and compression issues are all in the brain. They're not in the arm, the knee, the leg. Those are the remote tissues that are controlled by the brain. And brain-body calibration, being that is a brain-focused modality and technology to get rid of pain, meaning that the organ that we're trying to get to, is the brain itself. And the brain controlling all of these other tissues can tell those tissues to stop swelling and to stop hurting by the brain itself. And so that healing proceeds not only in the remote tissues, but in the brain more importantly. And then the next thing I want to talk about is how breathing is so crucial to healing chronic pain. In most people that breathe, or most people that have chronic pain, there is a problem in the way that they breathe. And this is triggered by the pain itself and some other things that happen to us along the way of growing up, like sitting a lot in school and driving and that kind of thing. Believe it or not, what happens is that the breathing cycle gets reversed. We call that paradoxical breathing. When you're breathing paradoxically, let me show you, for those of you who do not know what that is, it's where you breathe like this. When the shoulders rise up and down, like I just showed you, instead of the belly breathing, what happens is a series of chain reactions that elevate the pain no matter where the pain is. Why? Because when the brain is not getting enough oxygen because of that incorrect breathing pattern, the brain sends out the pain hormones, or the stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. And all of these are associated with, guess what? Inflammation, stress, compression in the joints. All of these are associated with the very things that lead to and sustain that chronic pain. So to really recover from chronic pain, one must figure out a way to restore the normal breathing pattern. The normal breathing pattern looks like this. Think of a baby sitting on a changing table, and the baby has no shirt on and the baby's asleep, and all you see is the baby's belly rising and falling. The chest barely moves, there's no motion in the shoulders. That's the proper breathing pattern. That breathing pattern should stay the same all the way into adulthood, but frequently doesn't, and is almost never the case with chronic pain populations. So in brain-body calibration, the very first calibration that we do is a breathing calibration. This restores normal breathing, and just like that, about 50% of almost any pain that we've encountered in our experience of doing this work goes away. 50% goes away. So that means that about 50% of the pain that a person is experiencing is actually artificially created because the brain's not getting enough oxygen. A little known fact, but is nonetheless a very, very powerful way to reduce chronic pain in a short period of time. So let's review. In chronic pain, we have to get you out of pain. You need to get out of pain one way or another, because if you don't, your brain will shrink. Number two, with chronic pain, almost always there is a component of compression and inflammation. Those two things must be attacked. Brain-body calibration goes right to work on those right away by restoring normal muscle function. And then number three, you've got to get the body to breathe in a proper way, and get out of that paradoxical breathing pattern that I showed you with the shoulders going up and down. I'm David Rubenstein. It's been a pleasure to share this information with you. Thank you very much.